What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 28. So, picking up from where we left off, this episode, the first thing we're going to be doing is working our way on into sellia, town of sorcery. So, if you were to go up the main road right here, this is eventually going to lead you to about an NPC right around here, and then the town of sorcery here in sellia. Now, for right now, we're going to go ahead and talk to this NPC and start a quest with him, which is going to send us here to the swamp. So what I would like to do is go ahead and get his dialogue first, as it's going to tie into a boss fight. Then we'll knock out everything here in the swamp, the tunnel, and then get back up to sellia under stairs. So pretty straightforward. I just would not recommend doing sellia before you did the swamp, as like I said, things do tie together that way, and you may miss a part of the quest. But all in all, it doesn't really matter that much. You just miss certain dialogue and things of that nature. Now, we still do need to head up this way, though, and that's because the NPC is right outside of sellia. So, if you're just going through your gate, there's going to be one dog. Dog will be right here. Staggering. Right, I knew it. Now, make sure you kill him. If you do not kill him, he's going to come over here and attack our dude, bro. So this guy is not what he appears. Gallery. We'll get into gallery much later in the game, but for now, just exhaust his dialogue.
I'd hoped to ask a strapping. Don't fret. Should you?
So he's gonna pretty much tell you there's a girl that's very sick, inflicted with rot. She's rotting from the inside out. She's dying. He's gonna request a needle. Now he's gonna do something to this needle that is actually going to be inserted into the girl. Then this will work as a cure as long as it's inside of her body. Now this actually relates to the platinum in a big way, because this needle we're going to need to use late game to get one ending, cleanse ourselves, then be able to get another ending, so we can get a platinum single playthrough, get all 3 trophy endings. So it's very important, and not to mention this leads to incantations and spells and items and all types of stuff. On top of that, sellia, the town of sorcery, does have a secret. And if you go to the swamp, get this needle for him to begin this quest, he's going to tell you the secret of sellia. Now, I already know it, but like I said, to show everything in the correct order. So what we're going to do from here is just go to the left of the town, start working our way down into the swamp. Now you guys got to remember, when we did our early run around, we got a lot of the stuff in the swamp already. A lot of the stuff in the swamp already. So here's sellia under stair. We got this towards the start of the game. When we did our early run around, we got the rot stray ashes over here. We don't have to worry about that. We got you the mage outfit, the meteorite staff. We got the other scarabs, somber stones. There's really not much here aside from a boss fight, a couple loose loot items, and that's really it. So as we go down, what we're going to be doing first to get this out of the way is the sellia tunnel. I'm trying to pull up my map. Who's the fucking plant? You can't miss it. If you just go from sellia understairs and you're just riding the coast here, you're eventually reach these big guys. You're eventually going to see kind of an open field. Now this leads you straight back to the tunnel. He said as soon as we can pull up our map we will, but they're still aggroed, unfortunately. The other thing too is tunnels are actually marked on your map at least. Yep, so it's right here. So all we did is we branched off and went down in front of the town. They just rode the coast here, then you shot up to the right. And you'll see the marker there for your tunnel. Now what I like about this tunnel is this is actually going to get you quite a few of your smithing 5s. It's not enough on its own to bring a weapon past that tier. However, it is enough if you've done all the content, you found the few smithing 5s that were in the area. You got one from yours quest line, we found one with a trick drop in one of our tunnels. Then he found one of the little rocks a few episodes back. So right now, we already have 6. So if you've done all the content and you have at least 5 or 6, you go through here, you'll get enough. There's not 12, but there's enough. You know what I mean? There's like 7 to 9. So first things first, rock grease. And this area is going to be tricky. I'll let you know right now, if you've never been through this, you're probably going to fucking hate it. So the big thing here are going to be the pest. The pest, there are 3 in this main room, and they're all just spraying those pest threads at you. They're just spamming them, and spamming. It can be a lot to deal with. Now, typically, I'll rush them down first, but if we get lucky, exactly that. One or two might come for us, you know, might come right to us. So we're just gonna slowly do it and work our way up. So we're gonna go behind, as always. Get your smithing 5 there. We're gonna get the one right here. The one right here. Hey, give it. Thank you. And then I like to go ahead and jump to this now. That way we don't have to drop it down once we're up top. We can just, you know that that's done. And we're gonna roll on off. Shouldn't be able to get, yeah, he might. As they should be able to get you under an awning. That's what apparently he is. So now we are gonna kind of rush him down. The guy on the far side can't get you from here, but there's one right above your head that may. But that's the other thing, you're mainly protected, that's what I said. I wouldn't rush past him. Okay, just see it through, you know what I mean? Just see it through. So once we get up, we need to kind of curve around. You gotta jump in the right spot. Or you're not gonna make the jump. Right. Gravity stone. So we showed you guys way back at the start of the game in Limgrave, when you went down here to the Dragonbart Ruins, there was the what do you call it, transporter trap I told you guys not to take. It would have sent you right here, and if you don't know how to find the side of grace, which you wouldn't, not right away at least, you would not be able to leave here. It'd be miserable. Early game with no help, these guys would kill you and kill you again and again and again. I want to do this myself as a newer player at that point, and it was not fun, you know. That's why we didn't do it. But that chest we popped, that's where you'd wake up from. So it honestly could be quite the nightmare. Now, if you don't know how to move forward, what you're going to do, like I said, it can be very confusing at times. Ooh, hold on. Sometimes they can drop stones. You didn't that time. And it also gives us another opportunity to make sure we don't miss any 5s. Can't miss any if we want to get our upgrades. Alright. Alright, we're good. Try to jump again. There we go. So how to move forward is you have to go on this rooftop, then jump over. Now this item, if we miss it, I'm not going through it again. It's not worth it. It's just like more scrap. We're going to try to hit it. Yep. But it's just so tricky. So if you miss it, it's really not worth your time. If it bothers you, go for it. Now, typically when I go in here, I'll just hold my shield up. Sword right behind for backstab. Why won't you die? He's, you know, much bigger version, so it's gonna have quite a bit more health. So we got 11. We only need one more. Alright, and as soon as we get the ladder here, we want to turn around, jump, stone. This is another somber 4. You actually get another somber 6 here. They've been so rare. Now, as soon as you get here, what I like to do is run across. This guy will typically fall. Almost very consistent, almost every time. It makes it so much fucking easier to take him out. Now, this is a upgraded version. That's Rock Blaster. You got a similar spell in the area, but that's the upgraded version for it. How they're like digging at the ground with their spell, like that guy just did to me. It's like bop, 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 bop. It's multi-hit. Well, now we can do that. If we're mages, we're not. Alright, now we got that. Clear, we're gonna go upside. And go ahead and kick this down now, just in case you were to get killed. You have very nice shortcuts that save you from running through all this shit again. Take these gentlemen out. Then we get to go for a talisman. So we're about to get a talisman here that's going to go on our build so well. Like, this is one of our end game talismans. Once we start getting all of our stuff and all of our upgrades, you know, the seal we're going to use for the whole game, the weapon. This is a talisman that's going to boost the damage of your incantation. So it's like something that really will tie your building together. You know, when you get an in-game build, it's one of those things that's going to click and make us very, very powerful. So let's get him first. The other one shouldn't aggro yet. As there are 2 more behind you, but it shouldn't really give you much trouble at all right now. If you notice, they're kind of praising this altar. So it makes it easy enough to backstab the first, at least. You got shorter foot. Okay, I see one hit. One hit! Yeah, I told you. They're fucking irritating, aren't they? Pest Glaive, it's okay. Like a halberd type deal, nothing too special. Right over here, that's the last 5 you need. So if you notice, you got 14. Not too many extra to play with, and that's because we did all the content in the game. So like I said, that's a very good in-game talisman, meaning something that you could use your whole playthrough. It's very powerful, so it raises potency of incantations. So we'll have something, boosting our damage. We'll have stuff boosting our incantations. We'll have maybe one for weight, and we'll just be so set up, man. We'll have all damage types are going to be boosted. So this next fight is very tough. This is your Falling Star Beast. There's limited of these types of enemies throughout the game. They're very beefy. They are resistant, not immune, but highly resistant to every type of magic. Fire, spells, nothing seems to give an edge here, right? Nothing seems to give an edge besides something hefty to break him. So he's just like this really big bull that is made out of meteorites, I guess. And he uses gravity magic. So if you see him raise his head up, he's going to make a bunch of stones come up from the ground and stab you, so you have to try to dodge according to his head movement. He'll charge at you, and he's just very, very persistent, you could say. I think summons is nice for a distraction here if you got him. But what you're trying to do is just bait his head. I mean, he's a solid guy. He's, like I say, he's made out of fucking rocks. So there's not many weak points. You have that little bit of his head, and that's what you got. Even when we hit him in the head, like, you can feel how solid it is. I'll usually ram at you a few times, and I'll end by throwing up rocks at the very end of it, just like that. Yep, go right ahead. There's a pain in the dick. Dodge through. Watch that stamina. Everything, big damage, and AoE. Like everything's doing a lot of damage, and it's just huge area of effect. Don't screw me out of my fucking critical, dude. I can't stand that. You work so hard for critical. You see how we jumped right when his head went up? That's what I was talking about. It's okay. So 3 heals. We're gonna hang in there. Unfortunately, I don't believe I'll get another critical attack on him. Oh, as soon as I say that, I did. Yeah, but see? Fuck me on my critical. And that sucks too, because you work so hard to get this off, bro. But if it's a tight arena like this, it's just tough. And I do believe we went in with the right weapon here. I mean, we just broke his stand. One counterattack. That's crazy. 1 guard counter. Usually takes multiple. So Somber 6. It's the first time you'll naturally find one if you aren't doing like side quests and exploration. You got a Smithing 7, Gravity Stone Trunk, and then your Somber Stone Miner's Bellberry. And then even that, you're gonna notice you have 9 Smithing 7s. I think you got like 6 of them here. It's fucking crazy. This doesn't usually come to late game, so they've really hooked you up with that one, which I definitely appreciate. Then from there, to actually start on the swamp, we'll jump over to Southern Aeonia Swamp Tank. And the good news is, at this time, with our early run around, we've gotten almost everything from the swamp. So this is just a quick ride through, just to ensure you don't miss any items. I know of 1 invisible scarab, and then some loose loot by a tree, and then our boss fight. And that's really it, guys. So if you were to go straight through, and you did not follow along with the walkthrough, you're going to see these bodies here. There'll be a Somber 4, some crafting. There will be a scarab right here. Right by all these, your little buggies. They do drop good crafting resources for your boluses, if they happen to drop it. Then you can go on down. That's just for mana. Now we're right back where we were. So there's sellia understairs, straight ahead is your tunnel. Now right here, there's loose loot by the tree I was talking about. Then over here's the tricky part. I usually try to get up torrent. There's usually like 1 good spot to stand. Yeah, I was just short of it. You gotta kind of wait for them and line them up. These things are quite irritating because they're fucking invisible, and even if you're lined up, you might be an inch short, you know, and you're just short of hitting them. So very, very tedious. You're like barely off. Where'd he go? Shit. Yep. Sometimes they'll change their patterns a bit too. So it's just a long game here. Fucker. How? How did that miss? I'm about to just tell you guys to do it on your own, dude. It's getting fucking irritating, bro. I'm never gonna use this damn thing. It's alright, it's an incantation to let us buff and poison whenever we want. It's not bad. It's just not something I'm gonna use. Most likely. Yeah, you guys probably have to get this one on there. Alright, well there we go. That's it. I wasn't wasting no more fucking time on it. I know that shit. Alright, so poison ornament, so now we can buff our weapon with poison anytime we want. So if an enemy happens to be weak to it, we can use that as a strategy, but I'll be going more with fire. So now we're just going to circle around the swamp here. So up there, if you have not got it, that's where we got that Somber 5 at the start of the game, right? Now all we're doing is riding a circle, and then we're eventually just going to shoot over towards the center when you get by a bunch of roots. Actually, we could just go straight through here because, you know, we already got your meteorite staff. You've already gotten your rock sling. You got your sage outfit right over here. So you follow along and walk through. We have all this. So once you guys have that ruins cleared, if you're behind us, you did not get this done. There's going to be another side of grace right over here on your right hand side. Right there. And then we're about to get into our boss fight. So we did not actually grab this though. I forgot that I didn't want to grab it because I felt like we were already doing so much. We were already grabbing so much with our early run. I'm like, well, fuck, I don't want to grab everything, you know. So let's make sure we have it. Now from here, you're gonna see, it's really like in the center, but pretty much there's like a boss arena in here, and then there's an invasion event that needs to occur. So you gotta try to stay on torrent. Now what sucks for the invasion event, what's gonna happen, and we're just heading straight in from this point. The invasion event, what's going to happen is you get kicked off your horse, like you always do. Yep, and he sucks too, because remember, he's a jumper. There you go. So you usually got to use range, so I was hoping I could just get it from torrent. Yeah, so when you get invaded, you get kicked off your horse. Then you don't have torrent to hide from the rot, so you got to try to find tree branches. I don't know where the hell, oh, there it is. Thank you. The poison mist, it's okay. Alright, we're good. Clean rot knight. You could actually get their weapons to drop. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time on it. We're about to head for our boss. But, really cool sight because it would go with our build. You'd get faith, scaling, it would be holy damage, and you get blood loss. Now, if you're going to pull up your map, like I said, we're just aiming for these roots. That's where the invasion's going to take place. It's pretty much just straight across. I did want to give the clean route one attempt. And you're probably going to have to fight a few of them, too, because they're going to spawn in. Now, straight in the middle, that's where your boss fight is. If you want to put a marker, you can, but it's the only section of roots on the map. You can't really miss it. I'm just waiting for the invaders to come in. It's very, yeah. It can be a very particular spot. Now, what we got to do, and this sucks, too, because, you know, you have the clean route knights. Usually, you can stay away from them enough. The thing about the invader is they'll follow you. So if they're in our way, we'll go over to this room, right? Just so we can keep our distance from them. So she can be tough, but she doesn't have to be. It can go in your favor really, really quickly too. See what I'm saying? There. Just put her down. You're gonna get a couple runes. That's it. Sacramental Bud, 3 golden room 3s. I'm sorry, 1 golden room 3, 5, and then 10. And 10's worth 5,000, so it's really nice. It is weird though, because usually invasions gives you like weapons, and you're just not gonna get that good. So next up, probably for the next fight, I'm gonna swap this out. We need to be very aggressive in this next fight. So what we're gonna be doing, you already know what it looks like on your map. We just showed you. No, I got turned around somewhere. There it is. I knew I got turned around. So this guy is rough. He's a really big general. He's gonna be using a halberd, which is a fucking awesome weapon too. But what he's gonna do is summon like a bunch of foot soldiers and stuff like that. So you gotta kind of ride around, kill all of them, and then fight him. Use guard counters, break his stagger. It's not gonna be bad. The problem is the foot soldiers. So it's like basic bobbies at the start of the fight. And then in phase 2, there'll be bigger guys, but they're just like Stormville Knights. His damage output is big, and he uses rot in a huge fucking area of effect, like really huge. It can still unfair. If we get killed, we have Side of Grace and Merrick are pretty close. It's okay, yeah. But so usually going on Torn, I thought I could just run around real quick. It is a very difficult fight. You haven't seen what the boss does yet. It's all the bullshit that he uses. Summons and fucking, they got Ashes of War, and he's doing rot that takes up 30 fucking miles. So, you know, it's a lot, guys. It's a lot. So we'll go ahead and buff up. Let's get on Torrent. We probably could just ride around and clean these guys up quick. See that? Then we can, you know, hop to the next. It doesn't have to be a hard fight, but yeah, I mean, like anything, if shit does not line up for you, it's gonna be. Alright, now we got them, we can get into it. So he's not gonna summon up anyone else until phase 2, until half his health is gone. So what I like to do is just guard counter. We broke our stance, but we were fine. We didn't take no damage. So, as you see, guard counters makes it a joke, right? Makes it an absolute joke. That's a big, big area. We're gonna get rotted. Yeah, we're gonna take a lot of damage. Look at this shit. Like, it's fucking crazy. Oh, we're dead. We're still in it. Up. Big fucking whirlwind, right? Big fucking whirlwind. Come on. Heal. Alright, here's the space 2. But hopefully, we can break his stance. You gotta, while he's summoning, you have such a long time to get off damage and charge heavy. And now it's over. And that's what I'm saying. It can be really hard. I've seen a lot of people say this fight's a joke. It's obviously not a joke. People just want to sound like they're good players. You know, like, cool, we're all impressed. But it's not a joke. When this guy's AoE takes up the whole fucking arena, and then you got 10 other guys to contend with, if you're struggling here, me personally, I get it. You know, I think it's a very, very frustrating fight. I think it's very tricky if you don't know how to play it and you come in here blind. But that's what I would do. You go in, you put all of his guys, stay on Torrent, circle, kill all those smaller guys. Fight him through phase 1 with guard counters. If you could use, you know, the spell we did for a buff of Blood Flame, good. You know, that'll get him down quicker. But guard counters, critical hits will get him through phase 1. And then whenever he goes to summon a second time, while he is going to summon bigger guys, I think it's a really good opportunity to get a few charged heavies on them. By the time they spawn in, you broke a stagger, you get a critical, the fight's over or very close to. That's how I would, you know, want to play it. Now that we have that, what we're going to be doing is jumping back to Southern Ionia Swamp Bank. Okay, so we have what we need for Gallery with your needle. Sellia Understair might be closer, but you end up aggroing like 30 fucking dudes. So it's, you know, kind of a pain. Of course, the dog's going to respawn every time. Remember, he can kill Gowrie. You're in that hut, he'll start attacking through the wall and all that shit, so I would kill him every time. Do not chance it. Now going up, talk to Gowrie, give him the needle. Celia's secret.
Well, the work of... Can you give us well? Can us well?
Now he's gonna ask for some time with the needle, so all we're gonna do is close out and load back in. Then with that, he should be ready. You know, in turn, you can just rest too, whatever you guys want to do.
The needle. Will you give? I will reward.
So there you go.
Millicent.
Now he's gonna ask you to give it to Millicent, and you have yet to meet.
She is, but the rotting. I doubt it. Oh.
Actually, we already got the side of grace from Millicent. We could just jump over. Now, Sellia Town of Sorcery is just like a smaller mage zone, so you're gonna get a lot of stuff. The most damaging staff in the game here. I said Ronaldo's is the best, but the staff here does more damage. It has such a high mana cost, I would not recommend it. Now, going through here, you're going to have a lot of mages, and they're just hopping around everywhere. I usually would go through here with a summon. I don't have one I particularly care for right now because of the mana cost of the better ones, and we ain't started leveling that just yet. But if you have a decent summon going through this area, it makes things much easier. So that's all we're going to be doing for right now. Just going around and putting them all down. Putting every single one of these guys down. That way you have free reign of the place. So what I will typically do is get that first little batch, I guess we could say, of guys. Then I go to the very far right. There's going to be one, I think there's one uphill here, really close to... Yeah, and you'll see where they're casting from. So they're using what's called night sorceries, which you'll get. So what night sorceries do is they kind of conceal the casters, so you can't see them cast. So their spells are much more likely to hit. You'll get access to this as well. There he is. You got your melee mages. But yeah, I'll typically go. Excuse me, kind of jumbled my words up there. I will typically go to the far back right. And we're just going to run this one aisle at a time. Now, I don't want to spend a bunch of time here just killing every enemy, so we're just going to be doing it quickly. We have a lot to do, so we're going to be getting through it. Got him. Got him. Now, there are a lot, and I mean so fucking many of these guys, so you're just going one aisle at a time. Now, with that being said, you're also going to notice there are some areas that are sealed off, and you need to break these seals. Similar to, like, regular Lucaria, right? You cannot enter this. So what you got to do is light a few beacons up top, and every one you light, that is actually going to unlock one of those areas. There's multiple. So that's what we're trying to do. So I guess it would make more sense to go up top, do that first, then come down and clear it as you go and get in all your areas. I like it better taking all the enemies out first, because then we light them and we just go straight to them and keep things easy. So from here, we're going to go down to the left, clear the lower area first. Get your next paintings. That's your Caleb painting. That won't get solved for a while, though. Just to give you guys a heads up. We'll fit it in somewhere. Probably when we come back for Upper Caleb, unless I have like time in an episode somewhere. We'll see. It'll get done just like everything, but we're not going to be doing it this episode as we are limited on time, and the next episodes are castle, so it's going to get done, but a painting's not going to, you know, be more important than doing castles and main bosses and all that shit. So we'll get it. Either way, guys, from here, we're just going to go to the very front. Actually made quite a bit of progress. So right here in the stairs, there's usually, yep, a bigger one. Now, we don't have to kill every single one, but we're definitely trying to dwindle these numbers down as much as we possibly can. If there's a few left, we could live with that. But being this fucking buried is not an option. You know, it's just not an option. We get him. There's the next shield there. Now we'll start working our way up to the top portion. Over there to the left is your boss door. It's also sealed off. If you guys want, just to quickly run through, make sure you have all or most you can. But since we've been doing aisle for aisle, there's a few left. I already know there is. There's still a few on the stairs. There might be one here, one there. But you probably got a good 85, 90, 95% of them. There's not many left. Alright, so you're going up the stairs. I do believe that's good enough. So we're going to be doing the majority of this on torrents, right? So we're going to grab a golden seed. And what we're going to do first is right after your golden seed, you're going to drop. Try to use torrent to get up carefully. Take this on up. This will be your first tower. So like I said, every time you light a tower, one of those seals are going to open. You have access to the spell, talisman, item, whatever, you know, the case may be. Now from here, and it can be a little bit tricky. You can do it in one run, but you got to be pretty good on torrent and then traversal. So from here, we're going to run and jump. Drop right here. That's going to get you the Staff of Loss, which does boost night sorceries. Now for me, to do this in one run, that's what I say, you got to be pretty decent here. So I would usually jump off that wall there, then I jump up on the roof. See how we did that? If you can't do that, just go right up the stairs, you know, jump from the tree over here. So it's nothing crazy, but it does just save me a few seconds more than anything else. So now we are going to jump off of torrent. Now I've had that dagger on forever because I use it for criticals, but we haven't really started upgrading it yet, so I'm just going to take it off for a bit. This one needs to be hit with a bow. So we go to my baby, my favorite bow. Try to aim for the beetle. There you go. That's going to get you Asher Board Double Slash. That's similar to what the guys in this area were doing. I told you you'd have access to it, but it's different for us. It's more in the front than to the side. And from there, we're going to go across this way. Shit. You're not supposed to fall, you jerk. You're supposed to get on the damn horse. Alright, so we're going to drop down. Jump over to your tree. Good, smack him. Now we're going to backtrack towards the start. So to do this, we're going to jump right here, and we want to go to the left. You got to be really careful. It's a lot of on and off the torrent, if we're being realistic here. You are kind of having to get off them at points. We're going to drop, jump, go back near the stairs. Now this jump's really tricky. Forgot how to do it. I think you got to get like towards the peak and then curve over. Yeah, it's really tricky. If you can't go this way, it's fine. We'll go another way, but usually you can. Yeah. If you can't go this way, you can just backtrack, go across here, and then, you know what I mean? Like, you could have took the roof we were on, jumped up there, jumped over here, and turned around. So whatever, you know, whatever works for you. The main thing to note is when you get these items, or you go for your towers rather, that one's on the far side, we go to the stairs, and the other actually has a tree they'll send you this way. So two will be over here. So one right here, and then one on the far end. I think once you figure out what you're doing here, lighting the towers, it's just a matter of getting every rooftop, and you're eventually going to find everything. You know what I mean? It's not that serious. Now, what I like to do from here is carefully navigate this. Get him. Thank you. Then get our stone sword. So once you get to the bottom, you're going to turn right. There's going to be a little platform right here. Stone sword key. Run, jump to the side just a bit, just enough. Then light your third and final. Now it's just a matter of jumping on torrent and, you know, getting to the 3 seals, which are super easy to find from here. Alright, so as soon as you roll off, if you guys remember, there's one on the far back side, so start there. That's the easy one to get to. First one we found. So you go back towards the beginning where we came in. Go to the far right. It's going to be right here in this little hut. That will be your third and final imbued stone sword key for the 4 belfries. So we did called 4 belfries. 1 belfry gave you a key. 3 belfries had transporter traps, or transporters rather. And we already did 1 transporter. So after that, right, Lucaria gave us 1 key, and then Celia gave us 1 key. So that's, you know, when we solve the painting, we'll probably do the 4 belfries. Like I said, whenever we can fit it in, that's when we do it. So from here, if you go to the middle aisle, right about here, it's not bad to find them either. One's in the far back, one's in the middle, one's in the front ledge. Night Comment. These sorceries cannot be seen when you cast. Very good for PvP. Obviously, it's got some applications there. And very good for PvE. Enemies cannot guard what they cannot see. Spell Drake Talisman +1. So we all know that it's going to boost your magic resistance, but even more so now because you got the +1 version. Going in here, you might want to summon. This is another boss fight. These are enemies we're going to face in the underground. One has a hammer, and the other has a curved sword. Now, these weapons are weird because they have like ropes inside, so they can extend. Like it's a curved sword. It's almost like a whip, and the hammer's almost like a whip that comes out. So they have a lot of distance with this. That being said, by the time we get here, they just don't really have much health. So you just kind of run up and smack them. But yeah, you do need to be blocking through your shield, use your shield and all that. They can stack up their own damage. They just don't have health. They're so good at staying far back. But yeah, you see that? Two light attacks, half their health bar. That's what I'm saying. They're just not very high level. God, stop running away, you coward. Thank you. Another one, you know, that's just so persistent. Like, they just don't fucking stop attacking, dude. They just don't stop. Nox Flowing Sword, you'll get Nox Flowing Hammer, but not into pretty deep into the, you know, the remainder of the underground areas. So right here, Lusat's Glintstone Staff. That staff has more damage than any other staff in the game. That is true. I still think Renal is better because it costs 50% more mana just to use it. So as far as progression goes, you're never going to have enough mana, guys. You're never, ever going to have enough mana. So in the back pocket, I'd bring Renalis to +10 to get through the game. Towards the end of the game, when you get more Somber Stones, maybe bring that to +10 to keep in the back pocket. Switch to that into boss areas. But I would not use that to progress. You're never going to have mana. Trust me on this. Alright, so we're at 30 there. You know, let's take a break on Faith, and I'm going to try to get this mind a bit higher so we can actually start using some of these summons. Which we're going to get a really good summon that's going to carry us for the rest of the game when we get to the underground, but still a little, you know, a little bit off. Alright. So from here, we could actually... I mean, this is why I tell you guys to follow along, because we could actually just jump right up here to the Church of the Plague. But I guess I'll take a little bit more time in case people have not followed along. It's just inconvenient. That's why I tell people to follow along, so if we have a side of grace, we could just use it. You know, I feel like we have the ability to get to a +10 weapon, we should. But I try to be courteous for people that haven't followed along because I don't want them to be lost. You know, I do this to help. But with the game and the walkthrough being this fucking big and long, it's hard to, you know, waste time on things, if you get what I mean. Because we're looking at 100 hours, and that's with, you know, detailed notes of go here, grab that, do this, you know what I mean? So, if you're doing like a blind playthrough, expect 200 hours plus DLC, you know, game. It'd take about 200 hours. Now, all we're doing is going straight up. That was that main stairs where you got the golden seed. You go straight up, you get over here to the church. So we did this early on. We were trying to get all the maps for your first 3 reads. So when we ran around to get everybody better start weapons, we came here to get a few like sacred tiers and stuff like that. But when we were getting our maps, you're all the way up top, and you could actually go from Fort Ferret, and it drops you down here, so you can skip over the whole area to get to their map, so it saves you like 20 minutes running around. So, we've already been here. Needless to say, this is where you're going to meet Millicent. But now, everybody should have this location. Now, when we get here to Millicent, there's a lot of good crafting stuff. All the stuff I'm picking up, that's what you need to craft your boluses to cleanse rot. Make sure to get it. Unfortunately, it does not respawn. Now, Millicent's very sick with the rot. She's being rotted from inside out. Like I said, we insert this needle. As long as it remains in her body, she will be healed. So give an alloyed gold needle.
But never mind. I would rather than would you mind?
Now, she doesn't want you to look as she uses the needle. So just screen goes black, and then she kind of passes out. So what you got to do is rest. Now look at her. She's feeling so much better, she's even standing up. Now, if you exhaust her dialogue, that's going to proceed with her quest, but you're also going to get the +5 to Dex Talisman. So that's your Prothesis Wearer Heirloom.
With the needle, my destiny. It's all thank. My name is Mill. I'm with the needle, my destiny.
Okay. Now, what we're going to do from here, while we're already here, if you go out and go uphill to the right, well, there's not much going on. I'm going to clear this area. Now, this goes... We do this much later in the game, guys. We're going to do this so much later in the game. But as you go uphill, you're going to see a little dirt road. You're going to follow it around to this really big mage. The guy that's using, like, Haima's gavel, Haima's cannonball that we fought in the Ionia cave. But we're going to take him down. Boom. Grab your beast blood. Then if you were to go right behind here, don't ask me how I know, but just smack this wall. Then we're going to run on down and grab the Side of Grace. So this is part of a quest that we're going to do over in Altus. So with that being said, we're not doing this yet, but it just makes things easier since we're already here. We'll go ahead and grab this. So whenever we get into Selen's quest line, we'll be able to, come on down to this cave, and everyone knows where it's at. Now, you want to talk about obscure hidden things. This is ridiculous. You got to just smack some random wall in a huge fucking open area such as Kayla with multiple levels and layers, and you find a cave. Like, it's crazy. Either way, now that we have that, we are all good. We're going to jump back to the Church of the Plague. There's actually one area left, but that's really it. So, from here, the Church of Plague, what you're going to do is just go out the left-hand side. We also quickly ran through here early game, as this is where a shortcut was that dropped us down. But we never cleared it, as we just, we weren't here yet. What are we looking on time, guys? Damn, 42 minutes already. Yeah, we'll go through this quickly. The only thing really worth killing are the Harpies, because they are going to drop Rune 9s. The first time you kill them and the first time only. But they add up. I actually popped every single rune so we can get to level 30 on strength. We had like 29 at the end of last episode, so I need to get my runes back up. I'm sure you guys have been spinning them too, I would assume. Thank you. Make life a little bit easier. At least for the regular bats. You got backstab her. Or not. Then you can drop right here. Pick up your drawstring poison grease. And interestingly enough, this is where you're going to fight the main boss of Caelid. So even though we have to wait for the top portion of Caelid, you can actually do the main boss of the region. And you need to be able to actually progress the game. Should be a rune. I think it's that one. Yeah, it's that one. Right. Get a rune 9 there. Now, any other enemy, we're just gonna blow right past. This was about runes that were worth our time, guaranteed items, right? As you go forward, you're gonna see a few demi-humans. If you guys want to kill them, you can. I just, we got limited time per episode, so not really for us, right? That is pretty wicked fucking view, though, isn't it? This is the biggest boss arena you'll ever see in a game. It's fun. Or about one. So next episode we'll clear the castle, and then after that is when we'll do the main boss battle, because you got to do the castle first. But yeah, once we get to there, that's where the game's like really opening up and getting pretty cool. Alright, so that was the drop we took early game for our other map fragment. What we're going to do from here is just go straight through. Now, there's going to be some invisible mages here, so just kind of run to the right and swing. Right about now. Oh, I was short. I was short. Because they can stack it up on you if you're not careful, for sure. Why don't you just behave yourself, young man? Young sir. Alright, Black Key Bolt for that rot damage. Golden Rune 4. And then we can head on up for our last fight. What you're going to do is you're going to go uphill to the right, you're going to see a tower. This area actually evaded me for a long time. It's just kind of toughed off, back behind the fucking church. It's way uphill already. Now, we fought these guys so much, there's no guys. Go in here, smack him a couple times and kill him. I mean, it's that simple. He's not a boss anymore. In fact, there's just basic versions of him now. He's just basic elite enemy. Still dangerous, for sure. But his health just isn't that great, right? Eternal Darkness is absolutely fantastic utility spell. What it does is it's going to summon up a portal that will pretty much vacuum up any and all spells being cast your way. So if anyone is spamming spells, you cast that above your head, they all just get vacuumed right up. Cannot beat it. It's absolutely amazing. So from here, there's only, at this point, there's only a few things you can do. Oh, actually, I do believe... Sorry, yeah, we gotta go talk to Gallery one last time. I was about to say, there's only a few little... Like, we gotta get a tier right here, and like a somber stone, and then we have a catacomb and an ash of war. And that, that really buttons up the whole area. However, we do need to go talk to Gallery one last time that we've turned in the needle. Then we need to quit out, load back in, and then Millicent will show up, and then we need to quit out, load back in, and then Gallery will come back. Or you can go and rest, but what this does is it gets you access to a few items, so we need to do it. Not to mention, you have to progress Millicent's quest line, and that's what we're after. Because she's going to go over to Altus, and, after the underground, that's the only other place left to go. Every time we kill the dog. Every time. Gotta do it. Yep, so here's Millicent. We're going to exhaust her dialogue.
So I decide that I've only perhaps.
And her storyline, she's just talking about she's supposed to go on a journey and, make her own path. She's going to follow the path of millennia and, learn the truth of what happened. So once you have...
Well,
she said,
I must focus on my...
I must stay strong. Yep, that's what we're looking for. Then we're just going to quit out, load back in. And once you do, Gallery should be back. Now this is, once again, this is part of this really obscure things that it's kind of difficult to figure out.
You've been as thanks of the lost.
My first playthrough, I never thought to come back and talk to this guy. But once you do, Millicent paid a visit.
It seems, however, she has no, as I've is to be.
Study sorcery. So Glintstone Stars, you've already picked up. That's a little bit of a letdown. He does have Night Shard. Swiftly fires semi-invisible magic projectiles, so very much like your other sorcery just picked up. 4,000, probably not bad for a decent spell. And then this is absolutely incredible. Release life-sapping silver mist before caster. This is crazy. So you release this mist and puts your enemy in a cloud. For one, it makes it hard to see an attack through it, but it's constantly draining their health. Absolutely phenomenal spell. And then after you do this quest, you'll be able to come back later in the game, and then he'll have some really, really rare incantations and spells. Really cool. Alright. So from here, like I said, we're gonna go back like we're going to Redmane Castle. That's that's where we're going. Passable Great Bridge. That's all that's left. But on the way, as mentioned, there are a few items. So I personally like to go stay to the left where we fought the Deathrite bird up here, because if you line it up, you can drop right where you want to be. You're gonna notice, yep, this little area here. So we're gonna go to the right side first. This is gonna be your tier. Is it your windy crystal tier? And then over here to the left, there's gonna be a fight with the big ass lion. Where is he? Did I go too far? Nope, there it is. We're gonna take him out. Now the other guys might get involved too, but they should all just kind of be hitting each other. Oh god. What is a shield for in this game? How many times have I held up a shield during this walkthrough series and got hit, like, right after? Thank you. Did not took that fucking long to stagger. Either way, since we are later in the game, you're always going to get Beast Blood, you're always going to get Old Fang. But the later in the game you are, the bigger smithing stuff. So we got a 1 the first time, then I think we got a 2 or a 3, now we're getting 4s, right? So obviously, you start getting real late in the game, you'll get 7s, you get somber 8s and somber 9s from those guys. So they don't respawn, you cannot farm them. You kill them once, they're gone forever. But it is another way to get upgrades. There's multiple ways, it just happens to be another one. Alright, so from here, we're going to aim back towards the main road. You see that dog up there? If you guys want to go up and take these guys out, there's just nothing really there. What we're going to do is, we already have the impassable Great Bridge side of Grace, not worried about it, so we're going to go down the main road. Instead of going towards the tower, we're going to curve and go to the right. Now this is going to bring you to your catacomb. You're going to see the statue pointing that way, right? Now there's a bird right there, and then you got your scarab. Usually the scarab will go to the right, get stuck, and the bird will not aggro just yet. You have time to get the stun before. If these guys want to follow us, oh god, what a mess. They're killing each other, I love it. Thank you. Now you see what I'm saying? Like they're super intimidating, but like when there's like a big crowd of them, I'm not even sweating that shit. They do so well at taking each other out. I'm just not worried about it. Now before we go in, we do have him though. And you could probably rush past him, but after clearing all that, I mean, right? Oh, I thought I dodged in time. Remember what I said, you're going to hear that pop. It sounds like he's staggered, but he is very much not staggered. He's doing that to set you up. That's staggered. It's kind of like a deeper pop when you actually stagger. Like a deeper sound, if you will. Either way, guys, with him wrapped on up, we're going to be moving forward. Or with him taken on out, sorry. We're moving forward into your catacomb. These catacombs are kind of a dick. They're not long. It's just filled with, you're constantly in rot, and it's got a lot of BS going on. So what we're going to be doing is putting on something with holy for the boss. That's our setup, so that'd be nice. Turn on your lantern. So this is pretty much in and out. Like I said, you're in rot a lot of the times. As far as enemies, it's kind of a mix of everybody. Like you'll have the poison plants, you'll have little annoying dudes. You're gonna have a lot of cleansing. I'm not saying it's worth it killing every single plant, but sometimes there's items behind them, so you might have to. shit. I didn't realize we only have 5 minutes left in recording. I hope it doesn't shut us off. Just have to get this very quickly. Which it's not long, so. Alright, so as soon as you get out here, you're gonna roll off, turn around. There's a visible wall right here. Let's grab your loots. Miranda Sprout Ashes, absolute waste. It's those guys. If you want to summon a pretty little fucking flower, you know, pretty little fucking flower for a boss fight. You see what I'm saying? It's so hard to get to the items. And then as you go on down here, this is the boss store, but you're probably thinking, well, fuck. There was not a lever anywhere. We even hit illusionary walls. We never found a lever. What are we gonna do? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna smack this wall. Sorry, I know. I'm being weird today. I know. But yeah, just smack that wall. That'll be your lever. Before we go into our fight. Damn, I forgot to put on our buff. We gotta do that between episodes. Now, this has to go quick. I had all this planned for this episode, but as I said before, you know, PlayStation cut you off an hour. Did not realize we were almost an hour in, so we got like 3 minutes. I think we can get him down. So this is your shade, cemetery shade again. We've done this 1,000 times. We know he's weak to holy. We know he's weak to sacred blade. It's gonna melt through him. Last time he had a bunch of skeletons with him. This time it's not. I mean, hell, the Liurnia fight with him is much harder than the Caleb fight. That's why. You know, if you think about it, that's why. Stay back. God, dude, he's such a dick. I'm not even gonna heal. Yep, not even gonna risk healing. Sometimes you go for a heal, and that's what gets you caught. So Kindred Rot Ashes. So now you can have your own annoying little pest, bro. Then from there, simply jump on down to the impassable Great Bridge. Then before we could do Radon Festival, like I said, we'll have to clear the castle, but then we're going to have to go trigger him. Clearing the castle on its own doesn't do it. You got to go trigger him under him. So from Impassable Great Bridge, one quick thing. If you were to turn around and go uphill, there's going to be a very good Ash of War for strength builds, in my opinion. Probably be who would be best. It's kind of just right here. So what that does is throw your weapon down into the earth. Covers it with rocks. Gives you a lot of poise damage. And then on top of that, just I think a 20% damage buff as well. It doesn't last forever, but it lasts long and damn enough, you know. Long enough to be worth your time during boss fights and fighting tougher enemies, elite enemies, things of that nature. Then the last thing we have, and there's no sense in saving this next episode, I know I can fit this in, I hope, is if you go up top here, there's going to be a talisman. I told you guys earlier that there were 2 talismans for bow builds. One gave you more reach. That was the Arrow's Reach talisman we picked up. And then I told you there's another one you're going to get, which is going to give you more damage for bow builds, right? That's this one called Arrow Sting talisman. Oh no, we're not taking the ladder. It's right here. So right there, you'll get your Arrow Sting talisman. And that wraps us up to the fucking second. Couldn't have planned it any better. You know? Couldn't have planned it any better. But either way, guys, with that, we're going to wrap on up. So next episode, we'll be taking out the main castle of Caelid. Then we're going to have to go trigger the Radon Festival before we go take out the boss fight. Obviously, the following episode. Then we'll be ready to move on into the rest of the underground region where the game will really start to open up. So either way, y'all stay tuned. We will catch y'all back here shortly.